participants mute their microphones, please. All participants, please mute your microphones. Mute your, please. Okay. Rotary Secretary, I come to you. You are in the group 1. May I ask you to propose the welcome toast, please?
Thank you, President.
Hold on. We have someone who has not muted his phone, his line. PP Festus, can you mute your line, please? Mrs. Jagri, can you mute your line? PP Festus.
No one is from here.
PP Festus, please.
The host can mute him. The host can mute him.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rotary Secretary, please go ahead to welcome us, please.
Fellow Rotarians and guests, with your glasses charged, I'd like to propose a toast to the Republic of Ghana.
To the Republic of Ghana.
To the Republic of Ghana.
Now, may I call Rotary Harriet to do the 4-week test for us, please. Rotary Secretary, if you can assist to put it on the screen, please. Rotary Harriet.
And you can watch Erling Haaland on the other side as well. Right, so kick off in Germany. It's just a few moments where, of course, this one is going to be in semi-finals. Will Manchester City finally make it?
PP Dan, can you mute your line, please?
Find out next.
Rotary Harriet. If Rotary Harriet is not available,
I think she's there.
yes. It's on. Rotary Harriet, please go ahead. If you're on. If not, may I ask the group leader, Rotary David, can you call on someone to do it, please, from your group?
Rotarian Helga, can you help us, please? Although you are not in our group. Hello, Rotarian Helga. Rotarian Larry B, please assist.
Can I do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Rotarian President, the 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And finally, number 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? The 4-way test.
Thank you very much, PP Nana. May I call on Rotarian SB from Group 1 to do the object of Rotary? Rotarian SB.
Thank you, Rotarian President. Fellow Rotarians, the object of Rotary. First, the development of acquaintance as an opportunity for service. Second, high ethical standards in business and professions. The recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations and the dignifying of each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society. Third, the application of the ideal of service in each Rotarian's personal, business, and community life. And fourth, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in the ideal of service. The object of Rotary.
Thank you very much. Now I'll call on Rotary Reggie to give us some Rotary information.
Thank you, Rotarian President. Rotary information. Rotary shares an interest in protecting our common legacy, that is the environment. We are committed to supporting activities that strengthen the conservation and protection of natural resources, advance ecological sustainability, and foster harmony between communities and the environment. We empower communities to access grants and other resources, embrace local solutions, and spur innovation in an effort to address the causes and reduce the effects of climate change and environmental degradation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rotary Reggie. Now, our meeting, our last minutes of our last meeting was shared on the platforms. I believe you've gone through it. If there are any omissions, additions in the minutes, please point it out now. If there aren't, may any member adopt the minutes of our last meeting, please?
Mr. President, I so move.
You move, P. Rosa. Thank you very much. Seconded.
Mr. President, I second.
Okay.
A.G. John, seconded. Thank you very much. Fellow Rotarians, please, can you mute your microphones, please? This is, okay.
No.
Rotarian Kofi Datu from Adenta, please mute your microphone. Yes, thank you very much, Rotarian Kofi Datu from Adenta. Now, the business of the day is time with Group 1. And today we have a surprise for you. It's 2 activities in 1. The main activity is time with Group 1. And I'll call on, and it's time with Group 1. The second part is all about DTAC. And our speaker is PAG Nana Yaa, who will be introduced later. But first, I call on Rotarian David, who is the leader of Group 1, to set the ball rolling. Thank you, Rotarian David.
Thank you, Rotarian President. Rotarian Secretary, can I share my screen? If you can unshare your screen so I can share my screen. I hope you can see my screen.
No, we can still see your face.
Still not sharing? Okay, just a minute. Is it being shared now?
Yes, it is in presentation mode.
Thank you. So, Rotarian President, fellow Rotarians, Group 1, we would like to bring up the topic on the environment. Try and look at the issues confronting the whole world as on environmental matters. What we intend to do is to focus on, we'll have the members of Group 1. We'll talk about some worrying environmental issues. We'll look at some solutions, and then we'll look at how Rotary can help. So Group 1, we have 4 PPs: PP Nana, PP John, PP Nat, who can't be with us today, PP Yoku, and myself, Rotarian Peace, Rotarian Poku, Rotarian Esmeralda, Harriet, Charles, Barbara, Adum, Larry B, and Reggie. So presenters for today will be PP Nana, PP John, and myself. Rotarian Barbara, if she's able to join us, will also help with the presentation. So some of the worrying environmental issues we would like to draw attention to and bring up for discussion today. We want to look at global warming. We want to look at biodiversity loss. We want to look at deforestation. We want to look at air pollution, plastic pollution, water insecurity, and poor governance. We'll have PP Nana take us through global warming, biodiversity loss, and deforestation. AG John will take us through air pollution, plastic pollution, water insecurity, and poor governance. PP Nana, if you can continue from here.
Thank you, my good leader. So we'll look at global warming as one of the key worrying issues. Global warming is the emission of greenhouse gases, mainly from the burning of fossil fuels, emissions from food waste, and the other things associated with these. These emissions come from activities in these areas, which are in the pie charts below there. The one on the left, which shows electricity and heat production, agriculture, forestry, and other land use, buildings, transportation, industry, and other forms of energy utilization. Now, these combined activities result in the emission of the gases in the pie chart on the right, with the preponderant composition being coming from carbon dioxide in 2 forms. Then, of course, we have methane and nitrous oxide and other gases. What these cause is the temperature, rise in temperatures. And these rises in temperatures lead to other things such as the formation of acid rain, which has effect on the environment, the heating of the environment, which results in bushfires in some places. In fact, the global warming is actually climate change, because it's not just the warming. In some places where they haven't known snow, snow has fallen by accident or to the shock of the people. And we shouldn't be surprised if in the future we see snow in Ghana, for instance, because the climate has just changed. And whilst we have ice melting, so also are people experiencing snow in some places. Then, of course, the flooding. Flooding, we in Ghana should be very careful because we have a coastline. And what has been predicted is that these sea levels could rise by as much as 6 meters in the very near future if we don't do much about Greenland and the ice sheets that has started melting. And in some movies you see it almost, well, I mean, it's a bit scary when you consider the possible impact. So what we are saying is that the Accra beach, for instance, could rise up by, if even it rises by 3 meters, we are talking about flooding places like Osula, Teshi, and its environs, and coming far further inland. So it's something we should be very concerned about. Next slide, please. Now, looking at biodiversity, the warming that is taking place, and I mentioned acid rain, that has ecological impact. We ourselves too are not managing things well. In fact, our land use, years ago, we used to have shifting cultivation in farming, agriculture. Now, people can no longer do that because the land has been attacked, invaded from all sides. And what used to be farmland is now used for living conditions. We therefore have most of the wildlife running for dear life. Some are getting extinct. In fact, in some places where they monitor these, it's a bit worrisome. In our part of the world, you can see we now have a lot more wildlife on the roadside because of these impacts on the, they are not just killing them, some are under stress, and they are harvesting them, I mean, like fish, so to speak. And that has implications in the future because we are depleting the resources. For instance, 500 species of land animals were lost in the last century, and 500 more of these are expected to be extinct in the next 20 years. We are lucky in this area, there isn't illegal wildlife trade, so we are a little safe. But our own activities, like mining, is really devastating the ecology. And I talked about acid rain. What it does to the environment is that it destroys both water bodies and the life that we have in them. And it attacks the soil also and renders it infertile, thus causing food insecurity. So we have to be very careful about how we manage the environment. Now let's look at deforestation. I mentioned this in passing in a way because we are using the forest for all manner of things, activities, from what they used to be before. We are not only cutting down and replanting other things, but in some cases, we are using the land for totally different activities or purposes. And when we consider livestock farming, for instance, many of us are not cattle rearers, but the influx of the Fulani cattle herds, for instance, herders, for instance, have affected our forestry, especially like in the Asante Achimbe area where I come from, where they destroy people's farms and forest areas just so the new shrubs and grass can grow for their cattle to graze on. Then, of course, oil palm will say it's an income earner, but then at what cost? Then, of course, housing, I think I mentioned already that we are building estates. Well, our population is increasing, so we are building estates, roads, and so on, to the detriment of the forest. Every minute, 20 football fields of forest is cut down. If nothing is done, by 2030, the planet would have 90% gone with only 10% left. And we are talking about 2030. It's very close by. In 100 years, there'll be no forests. We have to be very careful. I think I'll end here.
Thank you very much, PP Nana.
Thank you.
So we'll ask AG John to take over from here. And
thank you, David, Rotary President, DG. The interesting thing about the environment and what we see as what we live in is that it's a slow, gradually building process. And in lots of cases, what we see is a progression. So if I go back and I look at when I was a young person and I look at industry and I see a change in the way industry builds within what I grew up with, and I look at increased industry as progression. If I look at the number of cars that I saw as a kid and I look at the number of cars that I see on the road right now, I see progression. Yes, dust storms may not necessarily affect what we do over here, but even coming home today, it took me an hour and a half because of the number of roads, of cars on the roads that took me to my house on a journey that ordinarily would take me at outmost 25 years. But it's progression. There's a more number of cars, we think we are progressing. If you look at it on a global context, 4 to 7 million people die from air pollution. And that air pollution is not just from industrial sources. It is from the vehicles that all of us drive in, and we do not see it necessarily as a problem. But let me highlight one or two things that we should all think about. In our environment, we've got older generation cars, old cars, and they belch out smoke. And we've also got, for a lot of us who are listening here, who typically will be a one-use vehicle because it's just us in the vehicle driving through, and we do not see it as an issue that we should think about. And if we think about dust storms or dust pollution, let me widen it a little bit. What causes harmattan actually is the wind coming from the monsoon blowing over the harmattan and bringing dust over to us who are in this part of the world. But let's think about other things that we see in air pollution. For a number of people, which is now maybe changing a little bit, but you remember a little bit up and actually where we were cooking with charcoal or something, we didn't feel all But let's look at what effect that when we are not worried about air pollution. When COVID hit last year and all of these things came down on the lower level, we saw that in different parts of the world, suddenly the whole thing that we're seeing in different parts of the world was so much clearer. If we want to see what air pollution does that we now think is normal, look at the effects that places like the Taj Mahal were now clearer in countries like India. Sissy Bruce, Sissy Bruce, please mute your mic. We could now see that everything was clearer and we could breathe a little easier. Next slide, please. I do not believe that any of us anywhere in the world have not witnessed the effect of plastic pollution and what it does for us. We may distance ourselves from it a little bit, but I'll tell you a personal story and a place that I've seen in part of Ghana called Pram Pram. And there was a landfill site, probably about 10 kilometers away, that was now affected by the sea waves bringing plastic onto the beach. The amount of plastic was so bad that you would pick up and clean the beach at 7 a.m. and by 12 in the afternoon, had the same thing come back to your beach. And I'm talking between Pram Pram and Tema. That was the effect of the plastic that we now take as part of what we all, and I stress, we all do. We go to a shop and they pack so many things in a plastic carrier. They put other things in a plastic carrier and we all take it out to our homes, take the things out and we discard the plastic material. But what we forget is that one, we don't recycle. Two, it takes 400 years of the plastics to decompose. But let's even look at what even happens to the plastic, because a majority of the landfill sites, the plastic goes into the sea. Okay, I'll continue. The fish we see now actually starts to consume the plastic. We catch the fish, we bring it ashore, we consume in public, buy the fish, and we do not realize that the fish with the plastic in their innards is part of what we are buying and consuming. So the same plastic that we are throwing away is part of what we all are consuming. It's not Ghana only, it's worldwide. And now we'll take the last item you see on the slide, 400 years plastic decompose. Next slide. Water insecurity. Let's look at the Ghana case. A few years ago, water in the rivers was what a lot of the villagers would see as a source of what they would consume. And we all know that you can stop eating for a period of time, but you cannot stop drinking because it is impossible as a human being not to drink water and survive. But let's go beyond that and let's look at the real effect of water and what water does. And I'm sure all of us know what water means to our population. Let's take Africa, that the dam that Ethiopia is thinking of building is leading to problems for Egypt, Sudan, etc. Because we've only got 3% of fresh water. Nana spoke about the effect of the glaciers melting. One of the recognized problems in the next 20 years is that wars will not be fought on land ownership. It's going to be fought on water access. And if we do not make sure that we're protecting what we have, we can think of the implications. But let's talk about Ghana, that the water that we have is now being polluted by mining activities. We need to think about whether it is okay, or we've got to look at ways that we are going to manage how we control what is happening to our environment. Next slide. Governance and what we do on a global sense. We can take water, environment, see everything and look at it as it does not affect us, or we can look at it from a global thing and say that we need to be proactive and not wait for things to happen and then be reactive. If we don't implement policies that make it unattractive to emit greenhouse gases, we, all of us, live with it. Green innovation does not mean that it is going to cost us. Think global, act local. The goodwill, look at it from countries that we have even within our context in Africa. I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but a country that is cited often, Rwanda, has banned the use of plastic as a packaging material. But let's look at what we do over here. Harmful mining, harmful farming, harmful fishing practices. These are things that we need to start looking at as a people to determine what we're going to do to build the environment that we have for the future. Handing over to you, Chairman David.
Thank you, Rotarian AG John. So these are some of the harmful, the impact on our health by climate change. But having spoken about that, I think we can also think about solutions. And the solutions, we have a situation in ancient Egypt. There was a pharaoh who had a dream, and it was interpreted to him. He acted. Noah also acted. He built an ark. He saved the world. So let's try and do something about it now. The wise men have told us what the issues are. The wise men are the scientists who are environmentalists who are telling us all these things. What we can do is to reduce our carbon footprint, rely on renewable energy, solar, wind, etc. And on this, I must say that it may be of interest to you to know that AG Mercy, our own AG Mercy, has a wind turbine in her house. She gets power from wind. It's very interesting. My question to you is, if you want emergency power, do you use solar or you buy a generator? Think about these things. Protection and restoration of wetlands. You know, how well do we protect even the Ramsar sites at Sakumono? People are building there. When you go on the golf course at Celebrity, you see people building at the Ramsar site. It's really disheartening, and I don't know. You know, capture and storage of greenhouse gases, so carbon sequestration. Tree planting is something that is a low-hanging fruit. Of course, we are not able to plant as many trees as we cut them down, and they don't grow as quickly as we want them to. But we can make a difference by planting trees. And there are other experiments and research going on carbon capture and storage plants to try and take away some of these harmful gases. And then hopefully we will be able to move from our linear kind of economy we have now to a circular economy, which is a way of helping reduce some of these environmental issues. Rotarian Barbara, are you online? Rotarian Barbara. Okay, if she's not there, I'll talk about the linear economy, which is our current way of life. We take, we make, we dispose, and that's it. We don't think of using it again. We are always taking new raw materials, using it as if the materials will never get finished, and we don't care about tomorrow. This kind of thing is not sustainable. We cannot continue to take our resources, use them, and dump them. The refuse we dump themselves are coming to harm us. The resources we are taking out are going to get depleted. So then what do? The population is growing. There will be more demand for various items. The middle class will be growing to about 3 billion in 2030. So the circular economy is a new thinking that we reuse as much as, not just reuse, but we recycle, we use the products that we make for longer periods, make sure that the same products, when they get to the end life, can be used as raw materials again, so that we cut down as much as possible on the raw materials we put in and the waste we put out, so that what is already in the system can be reused over and over and over again, such that we save our resources and we cut down on pollution. And the question is, how can Rotary help? You know, Rotary, we as a club, what can we do to help? We can create awareness in schools and other places, advocacy, you know, advocacy, get governments to understand and help, you know, do something about the situation. Tree planting, that is a low-hanging fruit. This is something we can do. And I think there's a tree planting exercise coming up soon, which I'm sure you all support and get involved. But I must say that we shouldn't just end with planting the trees. We should find a way of monitoring and following up and making sure that these trees survive. Many a times these trees are planted and in a couple of months they're all dead. Let's think about these things. How do we make sure that these trees survive? And plastics, other waste segregation. This is something that as a country we do not do at all. We do not recycle. We do not even segregate our waste. Can we find a way of getting people to start thinking of these things? I know some factories do that, but most factories, most homes don't do that. Of course, we can start from somewhere. Probably we can influence those staying in gated communities. They can start from the regimentals, the Trasacos. Can they start segregating their waste? And people will learn from them. That could be a way of getting this across. Individually, what can you do? You can reduce your carbon footprint. I hope you all downloaded the app, and by now you know what you're contributing to this carbon problem. What is your carbon footprint? Have you taken or committed to actions to reduce your carbon footprint? I think there are about 99 actions on the app which you can commit to help you reduce your carbon footprint. So please consider being an Earth hero. Download the app, know your carbon footprint, work at reducing your carbon footprint. Thank you very much. And at this point, we can take a few questions or discussion points or comments.
May I just make a comment?
Yes.
Yeah, so I've posted the link to the app that you shared with us. So anybody who needs it can just go to the chat and continue from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
My
Any
question
comments?
is, Lieutenant David, my question.
Yeah.
Is it possible to do a short clip of your video, and we can use that as an advocacy for school children, your cartoon, your fantastic film there, that we can show kids on the WhatsApp, on all any other social media, to get the awareness of environmental pollution and environmental issues?
Yes, we can consider that. We can look at that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was hoping someone would share his or her carbon footprint and tell us where they think that it's which part of your lifestyle is contributing more to that. I know most people got 10 tons and they have not traveled in the last year because of COVID. So assuming you are traveling, it could be close to 20 or even more.
Yes. Yeah, Rotary David, on that score, let me just say, when I saw my score of 10 tons, I was a bit taken aback because I looked at the number of things that I was scored on, my travel, my drive between Accra, Tema, and all of that. And I just realized that it's not as easy to cut down on certain things as others. So you really do need to make an effort to look at specific things that you could, introduce to change the way your lifestyle impact the environment.
Yes, yes. I think as you realize that transportation is causing you to have a high carbon footprint, but the Ghana average is 1.1. And you ask why. There are a lot of people in Ghana, because it's about the whole country. So most of the people in the cities will have high, carbon footprints compared to those in the rural areas who walk and use a bicycle or something like that. So then there are other things that you can also do to gain points by planting trees, by doing advocacy and things like that. There are 99 things there that you can commit to reduce your 10 tons probably to 5 or something like that.
Lieutenant David, I see a hand up from Collins.
Right. Hello, Collins. Hello, Collins. Can we hear you?
Yes. My Rotary President, fellow Rotarian, I bring you greetings from District 9141, Rotary Club of United West Center here in Nigeria. I found your meeting notice on the Africa Network, and I joined because I happen to chair environmental preservation in our district. Let me commend you for a job well done with regards to the lecture that I was just giving this evening. Now, I just have one area that I think is vital. Yes, the effect of plastic and the ocean and the attendant health risk to ourselves and what have you is also there. But I think recently a study was carried out, and one of the findings was that the action of fishermen, particularly industrial fishing, to a large extent affects the ocean and by extension our environment, proportionally, probably even much more than the effect of plastic. The way whales and other endangered species are killed, considering the fact that the ocean at least produces about 70% or more of the oxygen we breathe in. So I think we should also begin to focus, because in most of our waterways, we have either the Chinese or Japanese or people from other areas. Particularly in our area where I come from, in Nigeria, we discover that most of our waterways, particularly the sea, are not properly policed. And so you find them coming down. And then if you've seen some of the nets they use, some of these nets go really down to the extent that the coral reefs are even damaged. And of course, without this, the production of oxygen becomes a very difficult problem that at some point, rather than also fighting for water, we'll probably be thinking about the kind of air we breathe.
Yeah.
So I think we should also pay attention to that. And then for Rotarians, if we want to seriously contribute or talk about how we can improve the environment, we have to go green. Now, when I say go green, we're talking about a situation where in our meeting, we should find a way to ensure that there are no plastic bottles which we use. Rather, we should have these containers that you can bring in and take back. Most of the plates and everything we use, there's these things that are biodiversity, things that you know that you can really put back to the environment without causing damage. So for us to leave the talk, we should exemplify that in the way we conduct our meetings, and even tell ourselves whenever we want to organize our conferences, our district conferences, and other occasions to ensure that we comply, not only monitoring about our emission when we're driving, but virtually in every part of our life. And when we do that, it's very easy to sell this message to others. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you very much, Collins. Very strong points there. Rotary, consider going green at your meetings, conferences, and all. That is a fantastic point. I hope that RP are taking notes there. We have our AG also listening in. I'm sure these are suggestions they can consider. But thank you very much, Collins. You make very strong points there. Anyone else? I don't see any hand up.
Rotary David, if I may read a message that someone sent me whilst I was presenting. And it says, we need to harvest more runoff water and other means to recharge the natural water tape. I'm reading it because it says he wants to lay low. But I think what he's saying is that in a lot of what we do, and he's in construction as well, and we're building houses as part of accommodation, which we need to do, that we do not consider rainwater as part of what we can handle, so that we're making the amount that we are placing on pipe-borne water a little less than we do. For all of us who are building, one of your greatest use of water is to look at rainwater and not just consider that rain falls and the water goes away. Think about how you build and what you're going to do with rainwater. Actually works much better for all of us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Rotarian CC.
Rotarian President, I like the suggestion made not too long ago by one of our visiting Rotarians that Rotary should consider going green as a small contribution. To me, it's the big takeaway for me. And Rotarian President, I would suggest that Group 1 can take it up for Accra Airport. Group 1 can make suggestions how Accra Airport, in activities in what we do, how we can go green. And at least as a club, we start somewhere. So that this will not just be a presentation where you listen, but a presentation where we have an effective takeaway from. Thank you.
Yes, PNCC. It's interesting that I was going to surprise the club to ask the club to join me to ask Group 1 to be an environmental group in our club. Anything to do with environment, we know is Group 1 that would handle it. So, fellow Rotarians, we shall.
Rotarian President, if I may, probably Group 1 can lead, but environment is everybody's business.
Exactly.
Environment is everyone's business. So the individual app, the app is a good place to start. We can lead in finding or bringing up suggestions, but we should all make a conscious effort to.
That is the whole idea.
Right.
That you would lead in our environmental issues.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think I can hand over to Rotarian President at this point. I don't see any more hands up. Thank you very much, Rotarian President.
Thank you very much, Rotarian David. That was a fantastic one. And I think we all have something to take away from your presentation. Our next activity on the program is all about DTAC, to be presented by no less a person, my good friend and sister, PAG Nana Yaa Siriboe. She's a member of the Accra Laboni Rotary Club, chair of Ghana National Polio Plus Committee, and host organizing committee of DTAC 2021. Classification is primary education. PAG Nana Yaa, we are blessed to have you to do all about DTAC for us today. So if you can take over, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President Nana Champo. Good evening, everyone. And it's going to be a short discussion on DTAC. In the Rotary world, we have our clubs. We are out of the clubs, we have districts, and then we have zones. And every district has to hold a conference and an assembly and also train officers for the next Rotary year. So to begin with, we elect presidents to take charge of the club. We also elect people to serve as secretaries and treasurers. Rotary has been through a lot of changes, and now we have directors who serve as directors of the club, and then we have committee chairs, and they all need to be trained to get themselves ready for the next Rotary year when they assume office. So before a president can start work, the president-elect needs to be trained. And now we even have the president nominee who will also start in the next 18 months also taking part in the training. Unfortunately for us, because of COVID, we have had to hold our training virtually. But when we have physical training, assembly, and conferences, 4 days of the week is set aside to take these officers through training. Again, we have assistant governors who assist every district governor in making sure that clubs get to know what the vision of the district governor is about, the vision of the president of that Rotary year is all about. So the district governor-elect, first of all, goes for training. It is often held in San Diego, but now this year it was held virtually. When the district governor returns, they come with a lot of package things for the president-elect to know, secretaries, treasurers, and everything. So you study these materials before you go for your training. In our district, we often hold our conferences, our training and assembly in the month of April. We've had to shift it once to the month of March. So tomorrow will be the assembly. And I do hope we have all had the opportunity to register, and we've been given the Zoom ID and the password. So we've had our training, the assistant governors have been trained, and tomorrow they're going to take part in some of the training programs that are being held in the assembly. Of course, presidents-elect have been trained, and secretaries and treasurers. It is necessary that you do the training so that you understand your role and know what you are expected to do and know how to lead your club to become a successful club. So what is the assembly all about, one may ask? Now, the assembly is to prepare incoming club leaders for their year in office and build their leadership team. It also gives the district governor-elect and incoming assistant governors and district committees the opportunity to motivate club leadership teams and build working relationships. Again, it also provides members of the Rotary clubs the opportunity to learn more about the different programs of Rotary and to have the opportunity to become involved at a club or district level. And also lastly, to provide a fellowship experience for the members of the different Rotary clubs under the district. So who needs to attend these? Club presidents, presidents-elect, secretaries, treasurers, everybody. Club foundation chairs have to attend because of the mandatory training they receive concerning grant seminars. Now, we've all heard about the Rotary Foundation. We've all heard about the fact that we can have projects and we can write a proposal to Rotary Foundation or to the district and apply for a grant to be able to carry out our projects. So it is very necessary that the presidents-elect, the secretaries, the Rotary Foundation chairs get to attend these grant seminars to understand why they need to attend this, to learn to know more how to apply, what forms to fill, and you sign a memorandum of understanding. Please note, if a memorandum of understanding is not signed, the club cannot apply to the district for a grant to take out, to carry out the project. So it is very necessary that we do that. And then also, incoming and prospective club board members learn to know a little bit more about Rotary. Now we have Rotary Central, so with a lot of things we can learn online, but it is also necessary that you participate at the assembly. Now, at the first part of the assembly, the district governor-elect is introduced, the district trainer is introduced by the district governor, and then the district governor-elect has the opportunity to let the whole district know what the Rotary International President-elect's theme is, what his visions are, what his goals are, and then also share with the district what his or her visions and goals are. As we've been told, we have a new theme, Serve to Change Lives, which is President-elect's theme for the next Rotary year. This Rotary year, our theme has been Rotary Opens Opportunities. So after the first part of the assembly, there's a break, and then when they return, the president-elect and the other officers are put into different groups where they continue with more of the training. The grant seminar is also held, and then after lunch, I'm sorry, I have the plane flying over. After lunch, the president-elect would meet the district governor-elect to discuss the budget of the district governor-elect for the Rotary year. And before that, the district governor-elect would have sent out his or her budget for clubs to discuss. And so club assemblies are held to discuss this. And then members have the opportunity to express what their concerns. And the president-elect are able to forward this to the district secretary that will be supporting the district governor-elect. So at that meeting, it is a matter of voting for the budget to be okay. Again, resolutions at the assembly during this period also. Resolutions will be discussed, and I'm sure we have received some resolutions. Sometimes it has to do with the district levy. It could do with adoption to change the bylaws of the district. It could be anything. And again, when these resolutions are sent, the district governor would have to send these to all club presidents for the presidents-elect to know what they will be discussing when they attend the assembly. So that is why we have the assembly. So primarily the assembly affords the district governor-elect the opportunity to outline the goals, the vision, the theme of the Rotary International president-elect, as well as his or her vision and goals. So increasing of membership would give a particular club so much, encourage us to contribute effectively to the Rotary Foundation. Our contribution to the Rotary Foundation, as we know, enables our district to be able to give clubs more monies to carry out more projects. So that is why we have the assembly. Now, the next day after the assembly is the conference. The conference is organized for the district governor of that particular year to share with members in the district, in the different clubs, what has happened throughout the district. Again, these conferences are held, and the Rotary International president is not able to attend every district conference. So a special representative of the president is asked to represent the president at the district conference. So he would make his initial remarks, and at the close of the conference would give the closing remarks. The district governor would also give us the state of the district address. Again, the resolutions that will be discussed at the assembly will then be formally passed at the district conference. Often, when we attend district conferences, we try to invite the president of the country or the mayor of the city in which the district conference is being held, or whatever. Somebody of importance in society is invited to come and speak to us. The aim of the conference also is to afford people within the communities to know what Rotary is about, to know what projects have been carried out, what Rotary plans to do. So as we've just had a brilliant presentation on environment, and knowing that one of the areas of focus of the Rotary Foundation is the environment, I think we should look into it so that the next Rotary year, every club would look to come together, possibly in all the countries, to make sure that we take the environment matter seriously. We've heard of trees that will be planted in June, and the Ministry of Environment is asking schools to try and get the seedlings to encourage school children to plant trees. And I'm sure Rotarians are also going to take up this challenge and be part of this program. So, as I've said, the conference often takes 2 days. There is a flag ceremony of the different countries, but I would say like Nigeria, for example, since it's a very big country, they already have 3 districts. So they would hold their district conference differently from us. We used to do District 9100, 14 countries, and now we've been split into 3. So we have District 9102, District 9101. Now, apart from a representative from a high-ranking person in society, we also have other speakers join us. And I would like to encourage all of us at this moment, if we haven't registered to take part in the conference, let us do so. This is with a difference. Our first female district governor, we have a very exciting lady who will join us. We have Rotary International President Special Representative joining us. We have past Rotary International Director join us. And there's so many things that are exciting that would afford all of us the opportunity to learn. So for first-time attendees, please seize the opportunity Don't say, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it. Please find time, take part, participate, enjoy it, and you will learn a whole lot more. Especially when the district governor is giving her address, she will outline the state of the district. Again, the nominating committee, as we know, every year there's a nominating committee that's to discuss and nominate somebody to become a district governor. So, you know, in Rotary, the hierarchy, there's a district governor, there's a district governor nominee, there's a district governor-elect, district governor nominee, and now we have a district governor nominee designate. They will all be introduced by the nominating committee. Again, we will also have a speaker talk to us about COVID. So every year we choose exciting things just to make it exciting, make it interesting, and get Rotarians to participate. So I do hope we all register tomorrow, take part in the assembly, at least the first part. Presidents-elect, assistant governors, and assistant governors designate. Please encourage all clubs to ensure that every member at least joins the first part of the assembly. And then on Friday as well as Saturday, let us ensure that we are all taking part in the conference. Of course, we're going to have a virtual gala on Saturday, the 17th in the evening, and that promises to be very exciting. Thank you very much, Rotarian President.
Thank you very much, PAG Nana Yaa Siriboe. You didn't disappoint. Thank you very much. I called on you and you're obliged to talk to us about DTAC. Any questions for, we have the DG on as well. Any questions, please, fellow Rotarians, guests? Collins, Boliga, your hand is still up. Do you have a question or is just...
No, my hands up, that was the old one. That was the old, yes.
Do you have any questions for the speaker, PAG Nana Yaa? I don't think we do. If we don't, I'll call on Rotarian Bismarck to give the vote of thanks for both the environmental talk and all about DTAC. Rotarian Bismarck, please, can you do the vote of thanks, please?
Okay, fellow Rotarians, guests, on behalf of the Rotary President, Nana Gyamfi, I'd like to thank Group 1 for the insightful presentation on our environment, and also to PAG Nana Yaa for the information he shared with us this evening. It's always a pleasure to learn about Rotary. So on behalf of the President, we would like to say thank you very much for the time spent with us and the information shared with us. Thank you.
And on behalf of Accra Airport as well, Rotary Club of Accra, thank you very much. Announcements. Rotary Secretary, do we have any announcements, please?
Rotarian President, our first announcement is our program for next meeting, April 21st, will be announced in due course.
Fellow Rotarians, can you mute your microphones, please? Check your microphones. Richard. Richard, your mic, yes, thank you. Rotary Secretary, please go ahead.
Kindly take note that DTAC is scheduled for this weekend, April 16 and 17. Let's all register for this virtual training per the link circulated. Funeral donations for our bereaved brothers can be made to the club treasurer. Members are kindly reminded to submit their details for the club's directory. We are being reminded of our financial obligations, including dues, donations, fines, contributions, etc. Kindly contact Club Treasurer for your outstanding bills, statements, and settlements. Thank you, Rotarian President.
Thank you, Rotarian Secretary. Any other business? We have Rotarian Franca, who is our new generations director, to give a short brief, very short brief. Rotarian Franca.
Okay, thank you, Rotarian President. Fellow Rotarians and guests, good evening. Okay, first of all, I'd like to talk about Rotary Interclub Quiz Competition that has been scheduled on the 15th of May at 4 p.m. This will be done via Zoom, and it will involve all Rotary clubs in Ghana. And each Rotary club will have to register a member to represent the club. Further details about the competition will be communicated to the club soon. However, kindly make a date on your calendar for the competition, as it's going to be an exciting one. So that is it about the quiz competition, the Rotary quiz competition. Also about new generation, the Rotary Club in Community 25 made a contact with me to co-sponsor or take over the Rotary Club of Central University, since it's closer to them. Well, they are yet to send an official request, which when received, I will send to the board, and any further decisions or concerns will be communicated to the club. That's it. Thank you, and that's all, Rotarian President.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Franca. Now, fines, we are called on PP Yoku, who is in Group 1, to do the fines for tonight.
Rotarian President, DG, fellow Rotarians and guests. There are a lot of august visitors today, some of my favorite people. I see PAG Nana Yaa, PP Jiggles, PAG Mami, and quite a few, even Rotarian Sally. Now, today would have been a very good day to collect a lot of money from them. But in consultation with our Rotarian President, today there are no fines. So take your money, donate it to a good cause, use it to support your brothers, and that's the good news from Group 1, supported by the President. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's a mystery fine, isn't it? Okay.
It is a mystery. So nobody has to pay, and that's actually the mystery of today.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, Rotarian Secretary, do we have any birthdays?
Yes, Rotarian President. We have Georgina, Rotary and Georgina, who belongs to Rotarian Tony. Her birthday was, when was it now? 8th of April. Same birthday with Rotarian Oheniwa, 8th of April. On behalf of the club, we wish them happy birthday.
Okay. Do we do a song for them? Short one.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. 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 Happy birthday.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Ohidowa, and the spouse of okay, Rotary. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Sergeant Adams, you do the attendance, but before you do that, let me personally introduce our special guest tonight, who is the district governor. In the last couple of weeks, she's joined us in our meetings. And I said to her earlier on, before the meeting started, that it's like the London buses, they never come. Or when they start coming, they come in numbers. District Governor, thank you very much for honoring our meeting. We are blessed to have you. It's always a pleasure to see you join us. Would you have any message for us, please, District Governor?
Thank you so much for having me. No, I don't. Nana Yaa PhD has said it all. I'm good with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, District Governor. Sergeant Adams, can you do the attendance for us, please?
Thank you, Rotarian President. Fellow Rotarians, we have quite a number of visitors tonight, and Rotarians visiting us, and some are guests. Unfortunately, I'm able to distinguish who the guests are, so I'll go on with the list. There were about 52 of us participating in this meeting. So DG Yvonne has already been acknowledged. Then we had PAG Nana Yaa, who just shared some information with us. We have PP Vijay of Tain Royal from India, Rotarian Mira of Airport City. We have Rotarian Mercy Ajiman, Rotarian Harvey Patrick, I hope I got that right. Rotarian Sally, I believe of Labadi, Rotarian Alvina of Sekendita Kradi, Rotarian Frank Afari, PP Festus, Rotarian Collins. I didn't get the club. Then there's a Rotarian Naomi. Then PP Uncle Jiggles of Accra Tesano. Then Rotarian Pamela Batil. And Rotarian Kofi Gatu of Adenta. Rotarian Maria Mazuki, she joined us last week from Uganda. PAG Mami Hagan, RP Patilav, Rotarian Yasmin Tinkoran, Rotarian Emmanuel Obeng, Rotarian Kafui, Rotarian Frida Atiko, RP Nat of Accra Tesano, Rotarian Pabna Debra, Rotarian Victor, Rotarian Praba of Osu, Oxford, Rotarian Aisha of Accra Tesano, and Rotarian Aiden Sapara Grant. You are most welcome. We are happy you were able to join us.
Thank you very much, Sergeant Adams. May I call on PAG Mami again? If you have any message for us, PAG Mami.
Good evening, Rotarian President.
Good evening.
It's just to share fellowship with your club members.
Thank you very much, PAG Mami. And PP Vijay, I think we have to get you to transfer your membership to Accra Airport. Do you have any message for us?
DG President and my friends, it's always been a pleasure to be with you, and today's topic was very important on the environment, and so I could not refuse. I would like to thank PP Nana for the invite, and I would like to thank all of you for the fellowship. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I didn't catch the first name. Rotarian from Uganda. I know you enjoyed our meeting last week. Have you been able to contact Mrs. Marian Alaji, Baba Alaji? Hello? Our Rotarian from Uganda. I don't think she's on the line.
Yes.
I
think she's left.
She's left. Okay.
Yes. She's Maria Muzaki.
Okay. All right. RP Nat from Tesano. You're most welcome. Do you have a message for us?
He has left.
He's left. Okay. Right. I'd like to mention Rotary Sarah.
Hello, Rotarian President. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thank you to come back to Accra Airport.
Yes, I decided to share fellowship with you, and I've enjoyed the presentation. So thank you, and I'm happy I joined you.
Thank you. You're most welcome.
Thank you.
You're all welcome, fellow Rotarians. I couldn't mention all the names, but if any one of you have a message for us, and Rotarian from the Collins, only, well, the second name is a little difficult.
Bolea.
Okay,
when I was in Ghana, they used to call me Bolgatanga.
Oh, really?
Because of difficulty pronouncing the Bolea part. All right, my president, fellow Rotarians, bring you greetings from my club. It's been very rewarding. Stimulating actually the lecture and environment really touched me, and I really learned a lot. I'm going to take some of the lessons since I last year to my club and our district. Thank you very much.
Your volume is a little low.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm using my earpiece. So I said I bring you greetings. I don't know if it's clear now.
It's clear.
Okay, I bring you greetings from my club, Rotary Club of Yanagua City Center in District 9141, Nigeria. Lecture. Yes, the lecture and environment has actually been rewarding. I learned a lot of lessons, and things I wish to take with me to my club and our district. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much. You're always welcome to Accra Airport to join us in our meetings. Yes. The Rotarian Treasurer has asked permission she's in Ramadan, so she's asked permission to leave the meeting to attend to some issues. So we can't report on takings for today. There isn't any anyway. Now, before we depart, District Governor, fellow Rotarians, guests, thank you all very much for joining us in our meeting tonight. It's been very insightful. Our environmental group 1, PAG Nana Yaa, thank you very much on your talk on all about DTAC. Now, may I call on I would nominate. I know someone who always has a glass. JIPP is a term we use in the club. Past President Info Abebio, please depart us.
Rotarian President, fellow Rotarians and guests, DGPAG, and all other Rotarians from other clubs, kindly raise your glass with me and drink a toast to Rotary International and to Rotarians wherever they may be.
To Rotarians
International Rotarians wherever they may be.
Thank you very much. Say good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, President. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, President.
Good night. Thank you for having us.
Good night.
Thank you.
Who is Adam's separate grant?
This is Aiden.
Aiden.
From Accra.
From Accra, okay.
Accra.
All right.
Sarah, myself, and Naomi from.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bless you. All right.
And Peace, you can share this recording. I will upload it then. You have my mail ID.
Okay.
All right. We'd like you to do that for us. Thank you very much.